Good afternoon and welcome to the AC Sports Zone, everybody on the IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Alden K. We got some topics to talk about today for episode 4. We're going to be discussing B.J. Ojulari on the Arizona Cardinals tearing his ACL and out for the year. And we're going to be discussing Marvin Harrison Jr. getting the starting nod for Saturday's game against the New Orleans Saints. And then we're going to be talking about former ASU wide receiver Brandon Ayuk trade rumors with the Niners, Kevin Durant and Devin Booker leading Team USA to another victory against Serbia and moving on against France to the gold medal game. And then lastly, to our Arizona Diamondbacks, we're going to be talking about the Diamondbacks continuing their hot streak and entering a tough series against the Philadelphia Phillies. And we're going to be briefly discussing Eduardo Rodriguez's first start on the Arizona Diamondbacks, getting the win against the Cleveland Guardians. Once again, guys, welcome to the AC Sports Zone on the IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Alden K. Alrighty, once again, guys, welcome to the AZ Sports Zone episode 4 on the IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Alden K. So we got a lot to talk about for episode 4. Man, it's already been 4 episodes, man. It's going by fast, but I can't wait to get into this episode. But guys, IE Sports Radio has been around for 10 years, guys. Make sure to follow us on all of our socials right here, as you can see. And follow the IE Sports Radio on YouTube. We're growing on YouTube as well, so make sure to follow us there if you can. And if you guys miss any of our shows, just go on right here, Spreaker, Spotify, Apple Podcast, etc. And then follow our website, guys, iesportsradio.com. And then also follow our shop if you get the chance right here. And then follow our custom pages, guys. As you can see, mine's right here, AZ Sports Zone. And then, guys, make sure to follow me on my both of my Twitter accounts. My first one being with the IE Sports Radio, AZ Sports Zone IE, where I pretty much update every play-by-play for pretty much a few Arizona teams. I've been doing the Diamondbacks play-by-plays lately on here and on my YouTube channel as well, so make sure to go give that a go. And then follow my personal Twitter account as well, guys, where I'm brutally honest with all my teams. This is my personal account where I'm unfiltered as hell, so make sure to go give that one a follow. I'm not really as active on that one, but I try to tweet on there every chance I get. And then, guys, make sure to follow my YouTube channel as well, Always Arizona Sports. I'm 5 subs away from 600, so the faster I grow, the faster it'll be a lot better. Guys, so huge shout out to our sponsors, Planet Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Make sure to go give it a check out, and then Seal the Deal Wax Seals. So, guys, shout out to our sponsors right here. Let's see here. Yep, what's up, Larry? I see you in the chat. But guys, let's get a quick word from our sponsors. Go into a sponsor break. Again, guys, welcome to episode 4 of the AZ Sports Zone on the IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all-brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
All right, guys, welcome back to the AZ Sports Zone on the IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Once again, shout out to our sponsors, Planet Premium Brisket Beef Jerky and Seal the Deal Wax Seals. So, guys, now as we head into the first topic, I see Ralph's in the chat. What's up, Ralph? How you doing, man? All righty, so we're gonna start off with the Arizona Cardinals for episode 4, and we got a few topics to talk about a little bit. First, we're gonna start off with the brutal news. Um, of the injury bug that seems to continue with the Arizona Cardinals. BJ Ojulari coming into his second year, unfortunately, didn't even get one snap in preseason, and the injury bug continues to catch up to him as he tears his ACL, and he is out for the year. So, some brutal news on our pass rush and our defensive line, especially with, what seems to continue with the Arizona Cardinals. We just can't really figure it out on the defensive line, whether it's with injuries, whether it's with, players not being as productive. It just keeps on continuing. And BJ Ojulari was one of the guys I was really excited to see this season. Heading into his second year, he came off a really good finish on his rookie season as the season came towards the end. And unfortunately, he just goes down and he's out for the year. So it really sucks, especially with the young guys that we brought into this team, and we're not going to be able to see BJ Ojulari continue the trend of our defensive line as we bring in so many young guys here. And with the guys that we also brought in, along with Darius Robinson and Justin Jones, and I know I'm forgetting another guy in there too, but just it sucks that we already seem to be dealing with injuries, and we haven't even made it to the first game of preseason yet. So as far as I know, this was only the first brutal injury that this team has really gone through, and obviously we talk about BJ Ojulari and not just him, but his brother Azeez Ojulari on the Giants. We talk about both of them having injury history, and it just seems to catch up with BJ. So at the end of the day, I wouldn't be surprised if the Cardinals can look into the pass rush market. Yannick Ngakoue is still a free agent, something that would probably be a good move for us. They worked out Carl Lawson from the Jets, which brings me up to the next topic. So the Cardinals, as soon as BJ Ojulari tore his ACL, basically they offered Carl Lawson a workout, which they worked out, I think, a couple days ago. But John Gambadoro came out and said that he does not expect the Cardinals to sign Carl Lawson. So the workout, I guess it was just, something that the Cardinals were giving out to Carl Lawson to see what he can really do and bring to this team. But it by the end of the day, it didn't look like they were going to sign him. So it seems like Michael Bidwell was just bringing in bodies and not, signing him like the cheapskate owner that he is. So that another one bites the dust. So like I said, Yannick Ngakoue, he's a free agent. I wouldn't mind us bringing him in. And you guys forget that Hassan Reddick, who did just get traded to the Jets, but he's having contract issues with the Jets. That's another guy that I wouldn't mind the Cardinals bringing in a reunion with, because Hassan Reddick was a big name with Arizona a few years ago. But unfortunately, our general manager at the time, Steve Keim, was too big of a cheapskate, didn't bring in or re-sign any of the guys that were actually good on this team. And unfortunately, Hassan Reddick, went to Carolina. He dominated there. He went to Philly, dominated there. And then proceeded to get traded to the Jets. And unfortunately, from what I've been hearing, he hasn't been getting along with Robert Saleh. He hasn't really had good contract discussions with the Jets as of lately. So that brings me into the next topic. Could the Cardinals bring in a reunion with Hassan Reddick? Because, like I just mentioned, BJ Ojolari tearing his ACL and Carl Lawson not getting a contract with the Arizona Cardinals heading into preseason. Hassan Reddick was originally drafted to the Cardinals out of the second round out of Temple. And, he started off slow in his career when Vance Joseph was our defensive coordinator at the time. They passed Hassan Reddick along a lot at what position he was going to play. Same thing with Isaiah Simmons a little bit, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. When Steve Keim was our general manager, he did love linebackers. I mean, he drafted Hassan Reddick, he drafted Isaiah Simmons, he drafted Zaven Collins, who was still somewhat questionable. But the Cardinals did extend him to a 2-year extension for $14 million. So shout out to Zaven. I'm going to get to that topic here in a little bit. But back to the Hassan Reddick reunion, maybe. So I'm not saying that we are going to trade for Hassan Reddick or anything like that. But I mean, wouldn't it be nice to kind of get that reunion a little bit? Just, now that Steve Keim is out of here, because if you guys remember when Steve Keim was here, a lot of our players left our team because they hated Steve Keim and they hated Michael Bidwell. And, I get it. Michael Bidwell, his family's going to be the ownership for the Arizona Cardinals forever because, I mean, they've been running the team since the 1930s at least. So their family is not going to go anywhere. They're going to keep running this team. It is what it is. So now that Steve Keim is gone, I feel like if Monty Austinford is willing to do it, we can bring back some of the guys that really sparked our 2021 team and maybe even the teams before that. I know a lot of Cardinal fans, they don't like Patrick Peterson anymore because, of all the trash that he talked about the Cardinals ever since he left. But a lot of that was because of Steve Keim. And now that he's gone, a lot of guys like Patrick Peterson, Hassan Reddick, I know Tyrann Matthews on the Saints now, but guys like them that left because of Steve Keim, guys like Hassan Reddick, I feel like if Monty Ossenfort's willing to do it, because I know Monty Ossenfort, ever since he came here, he's always talked about not just collecting talent, but building his own team and actually building a team that can be good, not just in the present, but for the future as well. So as we continue to build our Arizona Cardinals team for the future, Hassan Reddick coming back. I mean, guys, we need the pass rush. We need the pass rush because we have Justin Jones on the interior. We got Darius Robinson who could play both interior and, on the outside in the pass rush as well. And Darius Robinson has been killing it in training camp so far. So hopefully that can continue into preseason as well. And I mean, if Hassan Reddick doesn't get an extension with the Jets, the Cardinals have the cap space and they have the money that is needed in order to trade for Hassan Reddick for cheap and maybe give him the extension that he wants. Because our pass rush has been the extreme issue for these past few seasons. And it's not, it's not something that I like to bring up, but it's also the run game as well. The run game has been our struggle. And guys, have you seen who's in our division? We need a good run defense in order to compete for the NFC West title that we're trying to get back into. We talk about the Seahawks with Kenneth Walker. We talk about the Rams with Kyron Williams, and they also just drafted Blake Corum as well. So they have a good, solid running back duo in the backfield as well. And then the 49ers with Christian McCaffrey. I know he's dealing with an injury early in this season, but they still have Elijah Mitchell as well in the backfield. So, at the end of the day, this division has solid backfields, for running backs. And our run defense has been at the bottom of the barrel for, at least these past couple seasons. So, with a trade bringing back Hassan Reddick, honestly, it's something that Monty Ossenfort should at least consider. I'm not saying that he has to do it because, for all we know, Monty Ossenfort or Hassan Reddick could be asking for so much money that he doesn't really deserve. And, that's one of the reasons why Philadelphia gave up on him and Howie Roseman traded him to New York. And now he's the Jets' problem. So that is one thing that the Cardinals should consider a little bit heading into preseason as we figure out what guys we want to get rid of, what guys we want to keep. So here we go here. So Zaven Collins, has officially agreed to a 2-year extension with the Arizona Cardinals for $14 million. So we extended him for somewhat cheap. I mean, he was a first round talent. He kind of had somewhat of a bumpy start heading into his career with the Cardinals, but he gets a 2-year extension with the Arizona Cardinals, and he's here until the year of 2026. So, we all talked about at the beginning of the season when basically, you know, we didn't give him the 5th-year option, and a lot of that brought up some questions, right? Was Monty Ossenfort going to keep Zaven Collins? Was he going to, make him play on a contract year and make him prove it in order for him to get an extension, for the following seasons? But the Cardinals do get it done, and they extend Zaven Collins for the next 2 seasons. So he's here until, I actually correct myself on that, the 2027 season. So he's here this year, and then he's here for the next 2 seasons. It's going to be interesting, especially with the linebacker duo of him and Mac Wilson, who's also been looking good in training camp as well. And it's going to be interesting seeing those guys head into preseason and then see those guys in the regular season as well. So Zaven Collins gets his extension, and I'm really surprised that it was only for 14 million. I thought he was going to ask for a lot more, but at the end of the day, we kept him for $14 million, and it's a really good extension. I see Jim Everett's in the chat. What's up? And yep, Zaven Collins is here for the next 2 seasons. So as we enter preseason, the question that I brought up last season and the episode and a topic that I discussed last season is Marvin Harrison Jr. going to play Saturday against the Saints? Yes, he will. Jonathan Gannon came out and said the other day that Marvin Harrison Jr. is expected to play in Saturday's game against the New Orleans Saints. So, Marvin Harrison, he may suit up for the first preseason game and all that, but honestly, I don't really expect Marvin Harrison to really play that long, you know? So now that he's our wide receiver one, I mean, I get it. It's nice to get the news that he's going to be playing. But at the end of the day, Marvin Harrison is not going to play for more than probably like 3 or 4 drives. Like, let's be honest here. We might see him in there for the first quarter, maybe possibly the first half. I'm not saying, he's going to play that long. But honestly, I don't expect Marvin Harrison Jr. to play more than the first half because, while he is unproven, he is a top 5 first round talent. I don't expect the Cardinals to overwork him that much because we also have 2 other preseason games that we're going to be seeing as well. And Marvin Harrison Jr., he's been dominating it in training camp. I know it's against training camp bodies and some guys that we're not really going to see heading into the regular season. But at the end of the day, preseason snaps also matters a little bit more than training camp. So it's going to be nice to see Marvin Harrison Jr. get the reps in preseason. I know Jonathan Gannon also came out and said that Kyler Murray will not play in preseason at all. So the quarterbacks that we're going to see are most likely going to be Clayton Tune and Desmond Ridder, which enters the last topic for the Arizona Cardinals. Matchups heading into preseason. So we talk about the quarterbacks, right? We got Clayton Tune, who's currently our second stringer, and Desmond Ridder, who is the third stringer because Clayton Tune has been outplaying Desmond Ridder in training camp lately. So I could expect to see us play Clayton Tune maybe. And for the Saints, we all talk about Spencer Rattler, which is who we're most likely going to see in the preseason game for the Saints. So at the end of the day, the quarterback matchups, we talk about those two. The wide receivers, we may see Greg Dortch out there for a bit. See, I don't expect any of our starters to really play because they've been proving it a lot in training camp. But I always say, preseason snaps matter a lot more. So I always take that very seriously, which is why I'm happy to see Marvin Harrison play, which is why I'm happy to see our backups play. But at the end of the day, there's no need to overwork them because we have 3 preseason games total. We can see them in other games. We don't have to play them, that long in the first game against the Saints. So it really all depends. So at the end of the day, the matchups heading into preseason do matter a lot, but we'll see what happens. We're taking on the Saints on Saturday at 5:00 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I will be live for that game on my YouTube channel, so make sure to go give that a sub up and make sure to go follow. And now, with that being said, guys, we're going to head into a break, and when we get back, we're going to be talking about former Arizona State wide receiver Brandon Ayuk trade rumors with the Niners, and then we're going to talk about Kevin Durant and Devin Booker Team USA to another victory and moving on to take on France in the U.S. gold medal finale game. So once again, guys, you're watching the AZ Sports Zone. I'm on the IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, sports fans? You're listening to IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your favorite West Coast Wisconsinite, Bernie Bango, and if you're a cheesehead, come listen to my show, Big Cheese Sports, where we road trip around America's Dairyland, previewing, reviewing, predicting, debating, and digging into all that is Wisconsin sports at the college and pro levels. Join me on IE Sports Radio, Sundays at 1 p.m. Central Standard. Bernie out.
Welcome to the 305, aka the Magic City, and this is Magic City Scoreboard. I'm your host, JB, and right here we're going to talk anything Miami. Miami Dolphins, Miami Heat, Miami Hurricanes, Marlins, Panthers, Inter Miami, and even high school football. So join me once a week right here on Magic City Scoreboard on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed to all that is sports.
Alrighty, guys. Make sure to go check out not just those two, but also everybody on the IE Sports Radio, guys. Make sure to follow our YouTube once again. We got so many good content creators. I've been saying this for all 4 episodes. We got so many great guys from pretty much any city you can imagine, any state that will talk about their teams and their state, their city, etc. So, guys, make sure to go give them a follow because they do know what they're talking about and they're very, very good content creators on the IE Sports Radio. So welcome back to the AZ Sports Zone, guys. And our next segment, we're going to be getting into, even though it's 49ers news, but it is former ASU. So I guess I could come up and give my thoughts on this because it's just like, any ASU player that I can talk about. Former ASU wide receiver Brandon Ayuk. And it's also NFC West news as well. And I am a Cardinals fan, so it is my division rival. So we can briefly talk about this a little bit. So former ASU wide receiver Brandon Ayuk. Trade rumors out of San Francisco. So Brandon Ayuk, former ASU receiver, been following him since his ASU days. Gets drafted to the Niners. He thrives as expected. Goes to two Super Bowls. They both end up losing, but he's a solid number 2 receiver for the Niners. And we all talk about the issues that are behind the scenes with the San Francisco 49ers. And Brandon Ayuk recently requested a trade out of San Francisco, quite a little while ago. And at first, when it looked like he wasn't going to get traded and he was going to go through his potentially last year with the 49ers, it seems like he requested a trade officially once again. And the Niners have been talking to a few teams that are in mind. The few teams that are in mind are the Steelers, Patriots, and what was it? I think Washington as well was one of them. So the 3 teams that Brandon Ayuk seemed to be in contact with, and also Washington. We talk about him potentially going to Washington. Former ASU quarterback Jaden Daniels as well. So it'd be nice to see those 2 again. But we'll get to Jaden Daniels probably at some point. So Brandon Ayuk, we talk about the trade rumors. Now, it came out a few days ago maybe, that Brandon Ayuk declined a $32 million per year offer from the New England Patriots, and he declined $32 million a year, which is almost identical to the Justin Jefferson contract. So when I think about this whole situation, right, the good receiver that Brandon Ayuk is, he's already in a winning culture with the 49ers. Now, we don't really know what's going on with the whole issue is behind the scenes, his contract, the team, whatever it is. It seems like Brandon Ayuk isn't deserving of a contract extension because he is a big reason on why the Niners continue to thrive and why they seem to get very, very close to the Super Bowl hump that they're trying to get over. So it kind of had me wondering, why is he declining $32 million a year? Why is he declining a choice to be the number one wide receiver on the New England Patriots? Now it kind of blows my mind, right? Because it seems like Brandon Ayuk does care about winning, right? And at first I thought it was all about the money. At first I thought it was all about the money, getting the catches, because look who he has to split catches with on the Niners. He's got to split catches with George Kittle, Debo Samuel, Ricky Pearsall, who they just drafted in the first round. He even has to split catches with Christian McCaffrey, who's a very good receiver, along with being a great running back as well. So he's got to split catches with a lot of guys on that team as well. So it kind of blew my mind that he rejected a $32 million deal with the Patriots, because if you look at the Patriots situation, right? If he goes to New England, who, and by the way, New England just released Juju Smith-Schuster today. It kind of blew my mind about that, because if you go to New England with $32 million a year, not only are you pretty much set for life, but you're also the number one receiver on the Patriots. And they just drafted Drake May, who didn't really look the best in their preseason game the other day, but he only played, one drive, so it is what it is. But at the end of the day, why are you rejecting 32 million a year, which is one of the top contracts in the NFL if you sign that among wide receivers, and you're rejecting the number one receiver option with the Patriots? It kind of blew my mind, and it made me realize that it's not about the money for him. It's not about, the catches. It is about winning, which kind of made me skeptical, because if it's really about winning, why would you request a trade out of San Francisco? You already have the team around you. You already have the defense. I mean, you have the head coach, who, even though I feel like Kyle Shanahan is kind of skeptical as far as coaching, he's still a solid head coach who will get you to the postseason and get you to the Super Bowl. So the only thing Shanahan hasn't done yet is win the Super Bowl. That's the only thing he hasn't done yet. And among all of that, he's still a good coach. So you have the team around you. If it's really about money, I don't understand why he rejected 32 million a year from the Patriots. And then we talk about the Steelers and Niners, who have been in talks with Brandon Ayuk. It came out that the Niners wanted another receiver in return if they were to lose Brandon Ayuk, which is why they signed Robbie Anderson, or whatever the hell his name is these days. Which is why they signed him the other day. And so it's kind of confusing, right? Obviously, hey, I root for Brandon Ayuk. He's former ASU, which is why I'm talking about him. It's still an ASU topic, so hey, I'll continue there. But at the end of the day, it's kind of questionable, right? Is Brandon Ayuk going to get traded? Is Brandon Ayuk, gonna, I don't, just get out of San Francisco? I want him to get out because it's our division, and I do want him to get out of there. But it's kind of weird, just the money that he's asking for, the role that he's asking for, and then the fact that he does want to win. So it's all kind of questionable. But it is a topic for another day, I guess. Whenever he does get traded, or if he gets traded, I mean, he may even hold out a preseason and regular season. We don't know yet, but we'll get to Brandon Ayuk another day, or he'll probably get traded. But if he doesn't get traded, at the end of the day, it'll probably most likely be his last year with the 49ers. So, as I try to see if there's any topics that came out regarding Arizona just now, because unlike last week, when Eduardo Rodriguez was announced he was going to make his start for the Diamondbacks, as I was doing this episode, and I didn't see it until later. Alrighty, so let's get into the next topic, which is Team USA basketball. So you guys know me, I'm a basketball guy. I'm a basketball guy over any sport. I play basketball. I love basketball more than any other sport. So let's get into this one. So the other day, while I was so pissed off of the way Team USA was playing, and you guys can't blame me for being pissed off about it. I mean, Team USA basketball, I get it. It's not 1992 anymore, and I also get it. This may be the last time we see a lot of great guys of our generation on Team USA. Devin Booker and Kevin Durant once again do their job, and they lead Team USA to another victory over Serbia. with a score of, if I can remember correctly, someone correct me if I'm wrong, it was 91-85. So it was a very close game. And but Team USA comes out with the victory, and they will take on France in the finale. So they'll be taking on Wemby, Rudy Gobert, Batum, etc. So Team USA, I really thought they were going to lose the game the other day. I really thought that they were going to lose because, I mean, Serbia was demolishing them until the fourth quarter. I think they had a 13-point lead entering the fourth quarter. So while I still had faith in Team USA because they always, eventually get it done, that's just their reputation. I genuinely thought that, I mean, Jokic was going to beat a Team USA super team, and it would have blown my mind had he did because Bogdanovic was also killing us. Jokic was killing us. But at the end of the day, Kevin Durant came up clutch. Steph Curry had a hell of a game too. Steph Curry had a very good game as well. And, Team USA came out with the victory. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really give me a lot of confidence heading into basically the next game, because if they play the way they played against France, France is going to murder them. What's up, Marcus? Yep, salute to you too. If Team USA plays like the way they played against Serbia, if they play like that against France, I'm sorry, they're going to get demolished. They're going to get demolished. They got to figure it out. As much as I really don't like Steve Kerr, I really don't like Steve Kerr. I feel like he's an overrated head coach, and I'm not saying this because it's the Phoenix Suns fan in me, and I can't stand the Warriors. It's just Steve Kerr is not a good Olympic coach. He really isn't. And it's like, at the end of the day, I mean, Jason Tatum, who just won an NBA Finals, he didn't sniff the court for a single second against Serbia. Joel Embiid was out for a while in certain other games as well. And Joel Embiid was one of the reasons why they came back and beat Serbia the other day. So it's like Steve Kerr has to figure out his rotations. I mean, I'm starting to feel like Draymond Green can be a better coach for Team USA than Steve Kerr can, because Draymond Green on Twitter was making some very good points that Devin Booker, who was on fire, like literally as soon as Devin Booker got an and one play for Team USA, Steve Kerr took him out. Kevin Durant was out for a little bit as well. So it's like, it blew my mind that USA came back and won. Now, I'm not surprised because we have a lot of good players, but at the same time, you have to have the coach as well. When Popovich was the coach in the last Olympics, he had good rotations. We were getting it done. We started off slow, but eventually he got it together with his rotations, and Team USA was able to win gold again. This year with Steve Kerr, I'm not seeing it. I'm really not seeing it. I don't understand how this guy is the coach for Team USA. I really don't feel like he should be the coach. But at the end of the day, Team USA got it done, and they're going to be taking on France for the final game. So, and I'm going to stick to my word on this. And if I'm wrong, I'll admit it next week, next Friday. I'll admit it if I'm wrong. If Team USA plays the way they played against Serbia, against France, they're going to get their butts kicked. All right. I mean, in my personal opinion, all you got to do is slow down Wemby and you win, because Rudy Gobert is not having a good Olympics. I don't know how Batum is doing. I don't know how Evan Fournier is doing. But at the end of the day, other than those four guys who are aging, if you could stop Wemby, you pretty much have gold. But you can't do that when you have a crappy rotation and when you have guys that are taking their foot off the gas pedal late in the game. Because Steph Curry had an amazing first quarter, and then he was yet to be seen after that. Anthony Edwards, I mean, I don't recall him having a single highlight against Serbia. It's like, where the hell is Anthony Edwards at? So if it weren't for KD being the Team USA GOAT that he is, Team USA would have lost. So shout out to Kevin Durant, shout out to Devin Booker, who came in late in the game as well to give Team USA the victory against Serbia. Shout out to Jokic too. You almost beat Team USA. So Jokic continues to do Jokic things. But at the end of the day, Team USA wins, and they're moving on to the finale to take on France and hopefully get another gold medal, because I really want to make fun of Noah Lyles for saying that Team USA is not a world champion of anything. I really want to make fun of him, and I really hope Team USA gets the victory for that, if any of you guys remember that from a year ago. So let's bring on to the next topic regarding the Phoenix Suns. So the NBA schedule is slowly coming out, not the entire schedule has came out yet, but we have some games for the Phoenix Suns. Well, only one game that I'm going to really be talking about here. But for the Phoenix Suns schedule heading into the 24-25 season, the Phoenix Suns are set to play the Denver Nuggets on Christmas Day at Phoenix. So we have another Christmas game for the 24-25 season. And we're going to be playing the Denver Nuggets once again. I feel like we play the Nuggets on Christmas every year. It's just so weird. But at the end of the day, we are going to be playing the Nuggets on Christmas Day. So it's a good schedule. I mean, I see some other games that we have for Christmas. We got the Mavericks and Timberwolves rematch. We got the Celtics and Sixers again. We got the Lakers and Warriors. We got the Knicks and Spurs, which is kind of a weird game, but I feel like that would be a decent game. So we do have some good games heading into Christmas for 2024. Now, basically, when it comes to the Phoenix Suns, I mean, I said again, they got to prove in order for me that they're going to have a good regular season. But depending on what this schedule is, I expect this Phoenix Suns team to start off good because we have the talent for it. We have an NBA champion as our head coach, and we're literally gonna just hopefully start off well because last year we did not start off good. Bradley Beal was out for I think until December last year. So if this Suns team can really stay healthy, like I said, we can make some noise. And regarding we talk about Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal getting injured, Devin Booker getting injured as well. It brings up a lot of questions. But as we look to see what the rest of this schedule brings right here, it's going to be very interesting, very very interesting. So regarding the Phoenix Suns, though, hold up. All right. Okay. So some news. Oh, never mind. That was from a day ago. Okay, never mind. But yeah, so the Suns are taking on the Nuggets on Christmas Day. It's going to be a good game. Can't wait for it. So that's all I got for the Phoenix Suns, guys. So we're going to be talking about the Arizona Diamondbacks a little bit. So before we go into the second break, I want to briefly discuss the start that Eduardo Rodriguez made on Tuesday against Cleveland. So Eduardo Rodriguez, coming off not playing for I think almost a year or something like that. He got injured in spring training. He was out for 4 to 5 months. But he came back the other day and he made his first start as a Diamondback against the Guardians in the third game, or second game of the doubleheader, but the third game of the series. And he played good. I'm not going to bash him for the 3 runs that he gave up, but he played a solid game for a guy who has not, played in almost a year. He was hitting the corners of the strike zone pretty well. He was getting guys out in quick innings. He played approximately 5.2 innings. So he did get the victory, even though he gave up 3 runs. He did technically get the victory. And he got us the third win in the sweep against the Guardians. So when we get back from the second break, we're going to be talking about the Diamondbacks' hot streak continuing as they take on the Phillies in Arizona tonight. So, but Eduardo Rodriguez, to me, he didn't really show a lot of signs that he was going to be another Jordan Montgomery or Madison Bumgarner or anything like that. Because if you guys follow my IE Sports account on Twitter, I briefly stated that part of me was kind of skeptical about Eduardo Rodriguez. We paid him $80 million for 4 years, and I don't know. Something told me that. I mean, he has a career ERA of 4, so I was a little bit skeptical about Eduardo Rodriguez. I did feel like he was going to be another Jordan Montgomery. I did feel like he was going to be another Madison Bumgarner. It was like, and it's not a coincidence too. Like we've been another Zach Greinke. Even maybe it's like the Diamondbacks have been cursed when it comes to signing big name pitchers in free agency. It like ever since Mike Hazen took over as GM and ever since Torey Lovello came in, it feels like we've been cursed. At the pitcher position when it comes to signing big name guys in free agency. It is what it is. And it is only one start. So maybe there is a chance that Eduardo Rodriguez takes a downfall. I hope not. I hope he continues to play good because we are going to need him for, if we can make a postseason run again this year like we did last year. We are going to need Eduardo Rodriguez big time. And, we talk about our starting pitchers right now. We have, guys that are injured. We have guys that are coming up from AAA to, take over for a little bit. At the end of the day, Eduardo Rodriguez, he did play a good game though. So he did show some good flashes against the Guardians, and I'm definitely looking forward to see what he could do next series against the Rockies. He's not going to be playing in this series against the Phillies, so it's going to be interesting to see what he does big time against the, for the rest of the season. We're taking on the Rockies and then Tampa Bay after that, which I'm also going to be talking about in the next segment. But the Diamondbacks finished off the sweep in Cleveland, courtesy of Eduardo Rodriguez, and it was a great series. They clicked on all cylinders. The bullpen came through and everything, and Eduardo Rodriguez started all of that. He played almost 6 innings, gave up 3 runs. He only had one strikeout, which was weird, but he only had one strikeout. But at the end of the day, it was enough to get the victory, and we swept Cleveland. And now we're heading on to this big series against Philadelphia, which I'm going to be briefly talking about in this next segment here. So with that being said, guys, we're going to be going on to another break. And when we get back, we're going to be talking about the Arizona Diamondbacks hot streak continuing and the Arizona Diamondbacks upcoming schedule. And then we're going to be talking about Merrill Kelly coming back very soon and potentially playing on Sunday in the finale against the Philadelphia Phillies. So once again, guys, if you're just now tuning in, you're watching the AZ Sports Zone on the IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, everyone. My name is Daryl Kinsey Jr., and I'm welcoming you to take another lap with the fastest show on IE Sports Radio. Yes, this is the Extra Mile with me and my co-hosts Christopher Lehman and Michael Ward. We talk everything racing from NASCAR to IndyCar to Formula One to limited hydroplanes, endurance racing, the NHRA, and more. So come join us for an hour of great racing talk and a lot of fun as well on the Extra Mile, Thursdays at 8 p.m. only on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey, Cleveland and Columbus sports fans. This is Jen B, host of the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. If you love Cleveland and Columbus sports like I do, be sure to tune in live to the Show of the Land on Tuesdays, where we will cover the Cleveland Browns, Cavs, Guardians, and Monsters. We will also talk about the Columbus Blue Jackets, Crew, Fury, and of course, the Ohio State Buckeyes. We'll also cover other colleges in the area like Akron, Kent State, Cleveland State, Mount Union, John Carroll, Baldwin Wallace, Youngstown State, among others. So like I said, if you love Cleveland and Columbus sports like I do, be sure to tune in Tuesdays to the Show of the Land with Jen B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Alrighty, guys. All right, welcome back to the AZ Sports Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all this sports. I'm your host, Alden K, to talk about this last segment. Once again, guys, go follow those people. I'm going to keep saying this after every single break. Go follow us on YouTube to check out these content creators. If you guys are new here and you're a fan of, I don't know, a good example like I just played on here, Cleveland. You know, Jen B. She goes live once a week to talk about Cleveland sports. If you're a Cleveland fan, go check her out. Go check all the guys out for whatever team or whatever fan you guys are. Make sure to go do that. But let's talk about the hottest team in Arizona right now, the Arizona Diamondbacks. So the Arizona Diamondbacks continue their hot streak, winning, and I could be wrong on this, approximately 15 of their last 18 games. They've only lost a few games since the All-Star break, and they have made a case. They are currently second place in the NL wildcard, and they're tied for the Padres for the first place wildcard. And they're a few games into the wild card too. So, you know, the Diamondbacks are chilling right now. They're continuing their hot streak. The acquisitions of Josh Bell and Dylan Floro and AJ Puck have really delivered big time into the second half of the season. Mike Hazen killed it in this trade deadline. Christian Walker can freely take as much time as he needs coming back from injury because Josh Bell has been killing it lately. So that was a big steal for us. We only gave up a couple dollars for him too. It's like we basically got Josh Bell for free from Miami, who's rebuilding, and he's just been killing it. So shout out to Mike Hazen for pulling off another masterclass trade deadline. Even though I was skeptical about it, Mike Hazen continues to prove me wrong like always. So shout out to Mike Hazen big time for making this team a lot better. But the Diamondbacks continue their hot streak, and they're they're continuing, I should say, the big series against the Philadelphia Phillies. So as I share my screen briefly here to show you guys the schedule. So the Diamondbacks are coming off a loss the other day against the Phillies, 4-6. Jordan Montgomery gave up 4 runs, and then our bullpen kind of struggled a little bit. But we're taking on the Phillies for the next 3 days in Arizona, and then we come back against the Rockies for a 3-gamer, and then we got the day off on the 15th, and then we're taking on Tampa, and then Miami, and then Boston, and then so forth. So if you look at our schedule right here, I'd say we have a somewhat easier schedule than before. So, the opponents that you just saw on the screen, like the Marlins, the Rockies, Tampa Bay, who's inconsistent, we should be able to get wins against those teams, but the Diamondbacks have proven sometimes that they disappoint a little bit. I'm not saying they've been disappointing lately because, like it says right here, they've been on a hot streak. Hopefully they can keep that up. And they're currently, and listen when I say this, 4 games behind the Los Angeles Dodgers. Entering the All-Star break, they were, I think, over 10 games behind the Dodgers. Now they're only 4 games behind. So like I said last week, and I'm going to say it again, we may have to consider, are the Diamondbacks going to win the NL West? Because the Padres are also a hot team as well. The Giants, even though I don't see them making a comeback for the division, the Giants are above 500 again, so the Giants could, especially with the Atlanta Braves struggling, the Giants could make a little case of the wild card if they continue, playing strong as they are. So the Diamondbacks continue to play hot. We got to win tonight against the Phillies. We have to at least split this series. We have to. We're taking on Zach Wheeler today, and Ryan Nelson is pitching today against Zach Wheeler for the second game. And if you look at Zach Wheeler's numbers, he does play worse on the road, which is understandable because if you play in Philly, if you play at the Citizens Bank Park, their fans will energize you and give you confidence, especially for the pitchers. So it's good that we're playing the Phillies at home because we have a better chance. If we were in Philly, I'd be worried. But now that we're at home, I feel like we have what it takes to at least split this series, and I'd be happy to split this series. The Diamondbacks, as I say, and hopefully I don't jinx them, we knock on wood. I'm pretty sure this is wood right here. Basically, the Diamondbacks have not lost their the last 11 series. So hopefully they can continue that playing against the Phillies. We're taking on Zach Wheeler tonight. Tomorrow we got Zach Gallen against Aaron Nola. And then for Saturday, we got Christopher Sanchez against potentially Merrill Kelly, which I'm going to be talking about in a little bit. So for this next topic, I kind of want to address the freaking bullpen issues. It's like, so the last couple series against the Pirates, against Cleveland even though we swept Cleveland, against the Nationals, against the Pirates the first time as well. Basically, it's been like the bullpen pisses me off. And I'm trying to say this without swearing and going on a big rant here. The bullpen has been consistently annoying the crap out of me lately. And a lot of that is because of our closing. We don't have a closing pitcher right now. And, I know what some people who, are fans of other teams and they don't watch the Diamondbacks say, oh, Alden, what do you mean? You guys have Paul Sewald. Well, I hate to break it to y'all. Paul Sewald has been having a terrible closing issue for the past month or so. So, and it came out, a week ago, and lately we have not been giving Paul Sewald closing opportunities. We've been playing Paul Sewald, in the good 6th or 7th inning. Sometimes we'll see him in the 9th inning if the game is a blowout, this and that. But our closing issues have continued. And our bullpen was the reason why we lost the other day against the Phillies. Because as much as we can sit here and blame Jordan Montgomery for losing the other night, Jordan Montgomery almost made it to 6 innings, which we have not seen a lot out of Jordan Montgomery this season. So there were runners at first and second. When we took Jordan Montgomery out, we put Dylan Floro in the game, and then right away he gives the Phillies the lead. You can blame Jordan Montgomery for that all you want, but the point is when Dylan Floro came in the game, All he needed was one out. All he needed was to get one out and to strand one hitter on the Phillies. But he didn't do that. I'm pretty sure it was Trey Turner who gave him the lead, or maybe it was Alec Boehm or something like that. I think it was Alec Boehm actually, or something like that. But anyway, but yeah, our bullpen gave away the game the other night, and our bullpen almost gave up the game against the Guardians, and they almost gave up the game against the Pirates when we clinched it against Paul Skeens. So this bullpen, if we can't figure out the closing issue before the postseason, assuming we make it, because with the way we're playing, it seems like we are going to make the postseason. At least I hope we can continue keeping up this hot streak. If this bullpen does not figure out a closing issue, and if Torey Lovello cannot pull his head out of his rear end and find a closer on this Diamondbacks team, we're not going to get far in the playoffs. Okay, we're not. Because why did we get to the World Series last year? It's because it was our bullpen who came to deliver. And yes, our defense also did their part. Our power hitters also did their part. Our contact hitters did their part. Our batting did their part as well. But it was the bullpen that got us to the World Series. It was Kevin Ginkel. It was Ryan Thompson. It was Paul Sewald in the closing matter. It was, I know I'm forgetting a name. I don't like to name out people like that. It was Andrew Saalfrank last season. Did I say Ryan Thompson? Yeah, I said Ryan Thompson. It was guys like that who were able to shut down the batting lineups on the other team. You know, I talk about us playing the Phillies tonight. We beat the Phillies in 7 games because the Phillies struggled against our bullpen in the final 2 games of that series. And you know, Kevin Ginkel, who I personally think was the best postseason pitcher last year, was able to shut down the Phillies' teeth of the offense. We haven't seen that from Kevin Ginkel really this year. He's kind of had somewhat of a downfall. Ryan Thompson is not a closer. As much as Diamondback fans can sit here and say Ryan Thompson is a great pitcher, I think Ryan Thompson is a great reliever. But Ryan Thompson is not a good closer. He's just not a closer. Point, period, blank, paragraph, whatever you guys want to call it. Ryan Thompson is not a closer. And then we got Paul Sewald, who is currently on a slump right now. The pitcher who I think is going to be the closer heading into the future of this season is Justin Martinez. I think if Torey Lovello can keep giving Justin Martinez the closing reps that he needs in order for him to develop and learn the right way, I think Justin Martinez is the future closer of the Arizona Diamondbacks. And I know what people are going to say. Oh, Justin Martinez is young. Justin Martinez makes it look kind of a close game late in the game. Justin Martinez, he gives up runs sometimes and he blows away saves and this and that. You can make up that excuse all you want. But he's 22 years old. What Arizona fans in general do not do, not just Diamondback fans, what Arizona fans do not do, at least in my history of watching this team, we don't give a lot of players time as fans, and we need to start doing that, especially with the bullpen and the future of this bullpen. Justin Martinez came into a tough situation the other day against Cleveland, against guys like Steven Kwan, Jose Ramirez, Lane Thomas, who they just traded for, this and that. And he saved the game, and he got us the sweep. So, guys, Justin Martinez just needs time. He just needs time. And I feel like within, a month or so, this last month or two, Justin Martinez does have what it takes to be the closer of this team heading into the 2025 season as well. Now, I'm not giving up on Paul Sewald just yet, even though Sewald has been pissing me off like dramatically. I'm not giving up on Paul Sewald yet. I feel like he's just going through a slump right now because people do forget at the beginning of the season, he had 12 consecutive saves. So at the end of the day, the bullpen issues, I feel like they will be resolved at some point. But let's move on to the last topic. So we're going to briefly talk about Merrill Kelly coming back soon. Merrill Kelly, it's been announced that he will be throwing a bullpen today. He's not going to be playing. That's not what I mean by that. But he will be throwing a bullpen today. I'm not sure if he's going to be a bullpen option for the rest of this series, but Merrill Kelly is expected to come back Saturday against Christopher Sanchez, who will be the Phillies pitcher for the finale of the Phillies series. So Merrill Kelly coming back, who I feel like Merrill Kelly has been our ace all season long. I just feel like Merrill Kelly's been our best pitcher this season, aside from Brandon Pfaadt. And Zach Gallen, as much as I love Zach Gallen, Zach Gallen had an amazing season last year. Zach Gallen has been proving year in and year out why the Diamondbacks have not extended Zach Gallen just yet. And honestly, I feel like it's a good reason we have not extended him yet, because he has not had a good season, or at least he has not had a good second half with the Diamondbacks. So, while he is labeled as our ace so far this season, while he is, labeled as the best pitcher on this team, Zach Gallen has not been living up to expectations at all this season. Coming into this season, he had Cy Young expectations. He was top 3 in Cy Young candidacy last season. And ever since the postseason against the Phillies, ever since the Phillies NLCS last year, Zach Gallen has not been himself. So with Merrill Kelly coming back, as I get back to Merrill Kelly, with him coming back, I feel like, our pitchers are getting healthy. Our guys are getting healthy. So we're getting healthy again. We talk about Gabriel Moreno getting injured, and he's out for weeks. So Gabriel Moreno was a groin injury or hamstring injury, I forgot, but he is going to be out for weeks, according to Torey Lovello. So Jose Herrera and Adrian Del Castillo will be taking over the catching helm for Gabby Moreno before he comes back, and we're going to be getting Merrill Kelly back. As far as I know, we're going to be getting back on Saturday against the Phillies. So it's already going to be a tough task for Merrill Kelly when he comes back, and I love it. I can't wait to see him play against the Phillies. It's a lot of great promise for the Diamondbacks for the rest of the season. I can't wait to see what this team does tonight. I'm going to be watching the game. I can't wait to see what they do later. But as we conclude episode 4, guys, Merrill Kelly's coming back on Saturday. Gabriel Moreno is going to be out for weeks, if not maybe a month or so. Hopefully he comes back before the playoffs, but we'll see what goes down there. But guys, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 4, guys. Once again, I go live every Friday at 1:00 p.m. And once again, guys, hold up. Make sure to follow our socials, and then make sure to follow us on YouTube, and then make sure to follow me on Twitter on both of these accounts right here. But with that being said, guys, thank you guys for tuning in to episode 4 of the AZ Sports Zone on the IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I am your host, Alden K. Can't wait to be back at it next Friday at 1:00. We're going to be talking about the Arizona Cardinals a lot more next week and their preseason game. We're going to be talking about the Diamondbacks a lot more as well. I love talking about the Diamondbacks as of lately, so it's going to be an amazing episode 5, guys. Once again, guys, thanks to all of you guys that tuned in to watch the episode, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Make sure to like up the stream on your way out and sub up to the IE Sports Radio YouTube channel if you guys are new. And with that being said, guys, once again, thank you guys for tuning into the AZ Sports Zone on the IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Alden K. See you guys next week on Friday, 1:00 p.m. Pacific time. Have a great rest of your day. Have a good week, and I will see you guys a week from today, next Friday. Peace out.